Hello everybody, do you remember those vegetables that I planted? It's exactly 41 days since I planted them. These are summer vegetables and would not necessarily do well if you plant them at the end of February because it starts to get cold. So I planted them on the 28th of February. I planted some cucumbers, some tomatoes, some cabbage and some beetroot, and I wasn't sure if they were going to do well. So let me give you an update of how they are doing. So these are the two beds that I planted on, and the rest of the beds I just added mulch onto them so that I can stop the weeds from growing. But the last time when I posted a video about this it's literally my last video that I posted. I was planting on these two beds and I had not put on the trellis, so we ended up putting the trellis about 2 weeks after that. So the cucumbers ended up growing, most of them on the ground, but they did really well. We have actually been harvesting quite a bit, so I was really impressed with how well they did, honestly, because yeah, I didn't expect anything. And then I also added some tomatoes on here, and the tomatoes are not doing well, you guys. They are getting what do they call it, lead blight, and I don't think you can actually control it. I think that's it, but I'll show you the tomatoes right now. Here are the beetroots that we also planted, and I'm just gonna check out this one. Look at that. Beetroot is always a winner. It'll grow anytime around our area. And then these are the cabbages. I think they're doing fine. I've not noticed any disease yet. Some are doing okay, like these ones. They've not started forming yet, but some are not doing okay like this one. I'm not too worried. I was not expecting much when it comes to the cabbages, and this is more beetroot. So I think the cucumbers are doing well, the cabbages are doing well, as well as the beetroot. I noticed that with the cucumbers right now, they have a lot of the yellow spots. I think we got a lot of powdery mildew because it was raining quite a bit, and then the nights are now cold, and it would rain like in the evening and it would not dry until like the following day later in the afternoon. So there's not much I could do. I did try to remove the leaves. If like they were affected, then I'll try to remove them, but there's not much I can do. And a lot of the cucumbers are still laying on the ground over there because I didn't put the trellis on time, and I couldn't pull them without actually hurting them or messing them up. So some of them are going to continue growing. I'll see how long I'm going to keep them here to see if they can grow well. We are just experimenting really, but I'm not expecting much anymore. I think I can see now that if I wanted to continue growing my summer vegetables all the way until March, I actually could, because it's taken 40 something days. Honestly, 40 something days to have cucumbers that are super delicious, easy to grow. I bought these as seedlings, so if you want, just put in your cucumbers. Let me show you how the tomatoes are doing. This is the trellis with the tomatoes, and currently, listen to this. This is what is happening to my tomatoes. This is 41 days, by the way, and they were now starting to have lots of flowers. Some of them were actually producing. So what I did in the beginning is, when they started having their first few flowers, I actually removed them because I wanted them to focus on, growing their root and just becoming strong plants. But then last week, I started noticing that they were having leaves. Some of them were having leaves that had like the black spots, and then I realized that was blight. So what I did is I came in and I removed a lot of them. You can see that the plant is basically naked, so I removed a lot of the leaves around the plants so that I could give them a lot of air. And I don't think it's going to help much. There's not much you can do with the lead blight. It really just destroys everything. And it's a fungal disease that just spreads and spreads and spreads. You guys, I am so tempted to just remove them and just move on with my life, because I don't think I'm going to get anything. So all these plants now, they are affected. You also see it on the stem. You see it mostly on the leaves or on the stems. So like I said, it's been raining and the nights are cooler. So I think that's one of the reasons why our tomatoes got the late blight. And I don't know what else really, apart from it's a fungal disease. I also did spray that copper soap so that it could help, since it's a fungicide. I don't know, something like that, but I was just reading online to see if I can do some damage control, but I don't think there's anything I can do. Most of the tomatoes are actually going to just die. I thought it was just going to be on this one bed, but it looks like it's also on this side where the cucumbers are here. And now that I'm thinking about it, I think maybe the cucumbers also got affected now. I think the cucumbers are actually being affected by lead blight, because it gets spread by air, and also sometimes I touch the tomatoes. Oh, you see, I was touching the tomatoes, now I'm touching the cucumbers, and this literally spreads the the disease. So it's probably my fault. So yeah, this is what the vegetables are looking like. I'm actually quite impressed. Within 41 days, this is what we have. Okay, so I think the experiment worked. You can actually put in your vegetables later in the season and they might do well. So experiment with your climate, experiment with your soil. And remember that we have microclimates, and just because it's working for other people somewhere that are close to you, it might not work for you. We actually have friends who live in the area and their vegetables don't do so well compared to ours, and they have vegetables that do well in their areas and they don't do really well on our plot. So yeah, experiment. I also noticed that my cucumbers are getting these holes. This means that they are calcium deficient. And remember, I did not fertilize since I planted this. The only fertilizer that I put in was that general fertilizer in the beginning when I was planting. So the general fertilizer and the bone meal, and that was it, because I didn't think that they were going to be ready within a month. I was not prepared how fast they grew. I was not prepared for anything. So that's why I'm starting to get this. But honestly, I'm not disappointed. I'm going to harvest most of these cucumbers and make a lot of pickles, because I think this is going to be the last time we harvest cucumbers this season. But I am so excited. I am so happy. And I love cucumbers. And I eat a bunch of these, you guys. So yeah, that's the update, and thank you so much for always tuning in when we post something. I really want to be consistent, but you guys remember, I started a business, so it's keeping me busy. So I hope you guys are buying our biodegradable soaps, and I hope you are saving lots and lots and lots of water. My next video is going to be me planting our winter vegetables, so stay tuned and please go and watch the next one. Bye.